Recently, my wife and I bought a 1971 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia that was nearly 400 miles away. Naturally, the car is not running and driving. Welcome to the jmink channel. So as I mentioned previously, my wife and I recently purchased a 1971 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia. This car belongs to her primarily, and I'm just here to help her with anything she needs with getting it put back together and running and driving correctly. Now, the adventure began when I found this car on Facebook Marketplace all the way over in Oklahoma. And the adventure is no exaggeration. Along the trip, we found ourselves at a pretty unique Airbnb, unlike anything I've ever stayed in before overnight. And then the next morning, on the way to get to the car just to make the purchase, we had to replace an alternator in O'Reilly's parking lot in Cowart, Oklahoma. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I'll have the spelling here on the screen so you can see what town I'm talking about. But shout out to Blaine, the manager, who found the last alternator in stock and hooked me up with a couple of tools so I could replace it in their parking lot with no hassle, no fuss. O'Reilly's is a pretty great place. But once we got that switched out, we finished the leg of our trip, made the purchase, and then I'm gonna jump to the video now to show you what the car looked like when we picked it up and everything that we got with the purchase of the vehicle. So here we go. All right, everyone, we are in Skiatook, Oklahoma. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. We're here to buy my wife a Karmann Ghia, an old Volkswagen. It's gonna be a new project on the channel. Anyway, got this big trailer behind the truck here. Just made the deal with the guy. We're gonna start loading up here shortly and all the parts. I'll kind of go over this a little bit more in depth, but I'm just gonna walk you back here, show you the car and look at the parts. Here it is.
Some of the doors actually have glass in them already, but the windows, but there's extra windows over there.
Here's all the engines.
How you feel? Huh? How you feel?
Nasty, wet, sweaty mess.
What about you? Ditto.
So the last clips that y'all saw were us going through about 30 banana produce boxes of parts. So the story with the car, we're back in Arkansas right now. Found the car in Oklahoma, and the guy that had it bought 2 cars off an estate sale. He had a convertible and he had a hardtop. Obviously, we got the hardtop. The convertible sold before we ever saw it. We didn't know it existed. So anyway, but the car, all the parts. I mean, motor stand, spare seats. I'll flip you around here. There's spare doors, spare transmissions. These doors have the glass in them, and they've got the mechanisms, the latches, the cranks and everything. I've got spare bumpers to go through and pick the best ones. And then over here on the other side of the DeLorean, this is every box. So this is what you saw us doing. We went through and put all of the parts out of the banana boxes. Well, we've still got a couple. But we went through and we labeled. So Ghia air intake, Ghia carburetors, Ghia headlights and bulbs, Ghia fuel system. And in this box, my wife currently is going through, and we've got hubcaps. We've got all of these nose grill pieces that go into the front of Ghia's, and here she is stacking up hubcaps. We even got some Porsche hubcaps, which is pretty sweet. These are all the engines that came with the car. Another semi-complete engine here. This is a case with the pistons out of the motor, and the jugs and everything are off of it, disassembled. I've got the jugs and pistons and everything still intact on this one. The heads are on it as well, and the valve covers are in a box in storage that we just saw just a minute ago. Another motor just like it. And then, like this motor over here, this motor is also partially torn down. Then I have an empty case as well. So anyway, this is what all I got with the car itself. The other complete motor is in my garage. These were all the reasons why I really wanted to get this car. We had looked at a lot of cars. This one was already tore down to be put back together with paint. A lot of the other cars were gonna have to be tore down and repaired. This has already had rust repair done to it, plus the kicker of all the parts. All right, everybody, so now you've seen the car and you've seen all the parts. So what we did off camera, we brought the car here to our home garage, and we started looking everything over a little bit closer and digesting it now that we had more time. And we have decided to separate the body and the frame, and we're gonna go through the frame, repair, restore, repaint, replace, whatever it seems to be with parts and all of those things. We're gonna go through it, and while we've got the opportunity, and just clean it up a bit. The body is going to be something that I don't know if we're going to repaint it ourselves or if it's going to go to a body shop. We're still trying to figure that out. We'll probably do a lot of the body work ourselves, but it's just the paint application. I can't paint in this garage the way I'd like to. Same thing with the boat, if you're familiar with the channel. Painting the boat was not something I had the space to do at the time, but there might be an opportunity to paint the car ourselves, just not here at the house. So trying to figure that thing out. But that's the plan. We're gonna repaint the frame while we've got it in this stage. We're lucky enough that the car was torn down, so we're just gonna pick up the ball and run with it. And then the body, anybody has an opinion about painting the body off of the frame, throw it in the comments below. I'm interested to see what you might do. But that should do it for this video. There's lots more to come where this one came from. So if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and that little notification bell, so when I do release the next video, you'll get an alert as soon as the video drops. And as always, my name is Josh, this is the jmink channel, and we'll see you next time.